I used to hate parathas as a kid. I used to coming from a Punjabi kid,
exactly.
I didn't used to like parathas at all. And I remember in Kahona Pyara, I think there's a scene where Hrithik Roshan loves like aloo ke parathe, and I started eating parathas because of that. I can do without food, I can do without everything, but if I'm not surrounded by my best friends, I start feeling depressed. There have been so many speculations and rumors, linking me with different people, and sometimes it's so ridiculous that I would have never even seen that person or met that person ever in my life. I used to go to school when I used to feel tired from practice and playing matches. I used to be like, Dad, I want to have some fun. Can I go to school, please?
Hi Shubman,
Hello.
Welcome to the Hollywood Reporter India.
Thank you for having me.
You are our cover star. The last time you were on the cover of GQ, it was 2023, and the headline read, Cricket's Next Superstar. I think it's safe to say you dropped the next very quickly.
I mean, I feel it's all about, doing your work, believing in the process, and whatever happens, just let it happen.
Okay, says cricket's superstar now. But for the last hour and a half, I've watched you pose for our cameras, for our lenses, do the photo shoot. And I have to say that there was so much swag and ease watching you in front of the camera, and it made me curious. Were you always this comfortable in front of the camera, or was it something that you had to teach yourself along the way?
I felt, I think, you always discover something about yourself. And as when I first started doing interviews or shoots, I found this is something when, like, shooting is something that I do enjoy. And I do make an effort on going online, seeing other people shoot, how they pose, how they shoot. Just for me, by a personality trait, I like, whatever I do, I like to do it at my best or be the best at it. So, because I keep checking on like Google, like who's shooting what, and be updated. So maybe I think that's what helps me.
So you're constantly just up to date with the fashion world? Is that something that interests you?
Yeah, definitely. It's something, I feel fashion is something that extends or it's a part of your personality, and getting to know how you dress or how you behave is something that exceeds beyond what you do. And it's a part of your personality, and it's like you're getting to know something about yourself, which is quite cool.
What did you find out about yourself today?
That I look good with a cowboy hat.
I agree. You're having a great run with your ODI form, and I just want to break that down a little bit. What is your current state of mind?
Honestly, how just I am in general is whatever I've done, good, bad, I just focus on what I'm about to do next. So what's on my mind right now is obviously the IPL. And IPL in itself is, it's like for all the people that watch it from outside, it's like a festival. And we players who are fortunate enough to play in it are the people that give so much joy to people and so much happiness to them. So just being able to be such a big part of such a big festival in India is a very humbling experience.
Yeah, I'm going to come to the IPL in just a bit. Ernest Hemingway very famously described courage as grace under pressure, which I think a sporting star like you really, really needs to embody. And it makes me wonder, what are the tools that enable you to find this courage? Do you turn to music? Do you turn to meditation? Is it silence? What does it for you?
Music is definitely one of those things, but I feel how much of effort or hard work you've put in something is something that gives you a lot of confidence. For me, especially if I know that I've done this thing millions of times over, and I just have to do it one more time. That is giving me the confidence because I've done it so many times in the past. For example, if I'm playing a match and I'm playing against a certain type of a bowler, I know that I've played against this type of a bowler so many times and I've done well and I've prepared for it. So preparation is something for me that gives me the most amount of courage and confidence.
But what else?
Music is one thing that helps me be in that zone.
What kind of music?
I listen to especially before going to a match, or in the morning, I listen to classical music a lot. Yeah.
Movies?
Yes, I do watch movies a lot, but movies require a lot of, like I watch, whenever I do something or if I watch something, I do it with a lot of like I'm not gonna just watch a movie, like not focus
ambient
on it.
Viewing,
Yeah.
just going on in the
I
background.
focus on everything. So it requires, if I'm watching for example, a 2.5 hour movie, it requires for me a lot of effort and focus to be able to watch a movie. So I don't watch movies like every day. Like some people just binge Netflix every day. I'm not one of those people. Maybe I'd watch a movie once a week or something. Sometimes I watch a lot of shows, but even with the shows, it's like if I start watching out of just how I am a very curious person and I have to finish that show in that very day. Otherwise, I become very curious of what's going to happen. So I don't
get into it in the first place.
I start shows watching how long are they? Oh, they are like 35-40 minutes. Only 6 episodes in one season. Okay.
I can commit to this.
Yeah, now. I can commit to this show.
Because it's the Hollywood Reporter, I have to like sneak in a question about movies and films. Do you have a favorite actor?
Yes, of course. I love Christian Bale. He's one of my favorite actors. And Tom Hardy and Cillian Murphy. These are my top 3 actors. Also because I'm a bit biased. When I was a kid, I watched the Dark Knight, the trilogy by Christopher Nolan. And just Christopher Nolan, him as a director, and these 3 are like my top 3 people. Like anything they make, I have to like watch it.
Yeah. And closer home, any names here in India?
Growing up, I was a big fan of Hrithik Roshan.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember there's a story, I used to hate parathas as a kid. I used to, coming from a Punjabi kid,
yeah, exactly.
I didn't used to like parathas at all. And I remember in which Kahona Pyara, I think there's a scene where Hrithik Roshan loves like aloo ke parathe, and I started eating parathas because of that. And my mom used to tell me, कि Hrithik Roshan खा रहा है, तन्नू भी खाना पैना.
Now, what's your views on parathas?
I still sometimes eat them, but with a gluten-free base, not the actual Punjabi parathas.
Well, I can imagine that free time for a cricketer like you is few and far between. But I'm really curious to know what an ideal off day for Shubman Gill looks like.
Depends where I am actually. If I'm at home, then I'd say wake up late, around 10, 11, like not set an alarm, wake up at any time. Go down for breakfast with my family, and then there's a park in front of my house and in my house also. And most of the time, I am surrounded by my entourage, my best friends that are wherever I travel. Most of the times they travel with me, so we just have a good time. We'll order some food, eat, and maybe play some PlayStation or play cards, and just have a good chill time.
Can you talk to me more about this entourage? What does it do for you to have them around you?
It's like I can do without food. I can do without everything. But if I'm not surrounded by my best friends, I start feeling depressed. I feel like very lonely. Like what's the point of me, achieving all of this if my best friends are not going to be around me? So that's how I feel. So at least, I mean, I have, very fortunate to say this, but I have like 4 or 5 of my really good friends. At least half of them, like 2, 3 of them have to be
with you
all the time. Yeah.
Wow. But it's also so important to remember, Shubman, that you're 25 years old. Do you think the fame and the scrutiny and the stardom and everything that you've seen so early in life has made you grow up much sooner than friends your age? Like, are you able to relate to them with the conversations you have now?
Honestly, even when I was 10, 11, I never had friends of my age. I think it also has to do something with when we first shifted to Chandigarh. Before that, we were living with my grandparents in my village. So before we shifted to Chandigarh, when we shifted to Chandigarh, I was about 7 years old. And the age group that I played with, they were like 14, under 14. So I was playing like almost double my age. So all my friends have always been a bit older than me in general, because my father, like, he had this vision. He never let me play with my own age group. Like, he never let me play cricket with my own age group. And I didn't really go to school that much. I had some school friends up until like 7th, 8th grade, but I stopped going to, like, my attendance was 12% from 8th till 10th. And
Wow.
I'm telling you, I used to go to school when I used to feel tired from practice and playing matches. I used to be like, Dad, I want to have some fun. Can I go to school, please? And he would allow me to go to school. And that too, he would come in to the school during like half time or recess or something, and then take me back. But I used to love going to school once a week or maybe once a month whenever I used to get the time. But because I always played in a bigger age group, my friends, they were like always older than me, and hence that's why people always tell me that I am a bit more mature for my age. But I think it's because I always played in a age group.
Surrounded yourself with children
Yeah.
who were much older. Well, speaking of your father, you tell this really sweet story about how he used to give you 50 rupees as prize money when you were 5 or 6 for playing well. Obviously, now with all the brand endorsements and the fame and the match fees, that figure is significantly higher. But I want to understand your relationship with money today. What do you enjoy spending it on?
Clothes, for one instance, on experiences, going to, I'm a big fan of art, history, and culture as well. So I like visiting places with a lot of history, a lot of culture. I enjoy architecture. I enjoy going to museums, and especially when I'm surrounded with my friends, looking at things that sometimes, like looking at, like, for example, an art piece. A same art piece can make you feel differently from what it would
make you feel.
Yeah. So it's such an interesting thing. It's the same thing that 100 people are looking at, but it's making them feel very differently because you live your life like through your own perspective. There's this quote that I love, which says, like, everything you hear is an opinion, not a fact, and everything you see is perspective, not the truth. So things like these, seeing architecture, just being like, how people back in the day, 400, 500 years ago, had this like vision, developed such like such beautiful buildings or churches, and just watching artists. These are the things that I really enjoy.
And you feel like you use your money from time to time to bring yourself and your friends these experiences?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love experiencing these things with my friends and my family, and then sometimes on watches or sneakers. I mean, every guy is a sneakerhead, so sneakers. But I think over a period of time, I have become less obsessed with sneakers and clothes. I'm still obsessed, but not as much as I was 2 years ago or a year and a half ago.
Do I have to remind you that you're still 25?
No, it's like you, like, it's not like I follow everything, but just sometimes, when you don't have that much access, you want to like get everything. But when you have all the access, then, I mean, it's an automatic thing. Your desire for things starts to like
Diminishing.
Yeah, a little bit. I wouldn't say it's like finished, but like starts to go a little lesser than from what it was 2-3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, Shubman, coming back a little bit to the cricket, India were unbeaten going into the World Cup final in 2023 and also the Champions Trophy. Of course, we lost the World Cup final, but we won the Champions Trophy. As a team, what were some of the changes that you all implemented going from that loss into this win, and how did it make you feel?
Firstly, it felt amazing. And
thank you for that collective joy that you gave all of us. I allowed my son to stay up well past his bedtime, just one that night.
That's good then. I mean, nothing, honestly, we didn't change anything from the final that we played in Ahmedabad in 2023 and the final that we played here in Dubai. I feel sometimes the reality of any sport is one match sometimes cannot decide if you are the best team or not. We still believed that we played the best cricket in that tournament and we were the best team. Obviously, we did not get the World Cup, which is like the ultimate goal for everyone. But that still can't take that thing away from the fact that we did play the best cricket and we were the best team in that World Cup. So honestly, among the team and among us, we didn't have to prove anything to anyone. We knew that we were the best team in that World Cup and we know we are the best one-day side in the World Cup. So going into the Champions Trophy, firstly, we did not even talk about the final or anything like that. We were talking about how we are such a good team and how, game after game, we were just talking about how we can do the same thing that we've been doing. We don't have to change anything. Even if, doesn't matter even that we lost that final. One game cannot dictate if we are a champion team or if we are a runners-up team. That thing has happened. It's gone. Now we just have to take the match one. But it's easier said than done. Obviously, those memories haunt you when you're in the field. There are certain times when you think about that. Yes, here as well we have played 4 matches and we have been unbeaten going into the final. We can all talk about, let's take the occasion away from the game and play as freely as possible, but it does come in your mind for sure. But we honestly didn't think about that.
Yeah.
How we lost that final. We were only thinking about we played New Zealand in the league group as well. What were the things that we did well in that match because we beat them in the league match, and what were the things that we needed to repeat to be able to have the same result.
Yeah. And what was that feeling like, lifting that trophy?
It's very hard to explain the exact feeling. It's like when I was a kid, you dream about lifting an ICC trophy when you play for India. So just to be able to do that in a tournament, especially with players that we have in our team, Rohit Bhai, Virat Bhai, some of the senior players that I have grown up watching them, idolizing them. It's something that it's very hard to put that into words. How can you, how can you tell something like that when you are like 13, 14 and you are like, you want to play for India, and then you get to play for India with the people that you've been grown up watching, you've grown up idolizing, and you win a trophy with them, and you are a part of such a team who was able to do that. It's very hard to put that into words.
I can imagine. But what do these team titles mean to Shubman Gill, the individual?
Means that's what you practice for, that's what you work hard for, that's what you prepare for, because that is the ultimate goal. Achieving titles and just hearing India are world champion, I mean, except sports, there is no other, I don't think there's any other thing other than sports where you are crowned, you are the world champion.
Yeah.
You are the number 1 in the world.
Yeah.
And to be able to have or feel that feeling like India is world number 1. That's amazing.
I want to come to the IPL. And of course, the entire atmosphere is so different when it comes to the IPL versus ODIs and tests. There's daily drama. There's players from different nationalities playing in one team. As a cricketer, do you need like a mindset shift when you go between ODI to IPL?
Definitely. Whenever we switch from one format to another, 80% of the switch is mental and 20% I would say is technical.
Okay.
And why it's more mental than technical is, if for example right now when we are going from ODI to T20, how mentally tough I am to be able to make that switch as soon as possible is the key for me. And also this is a different challenge because I am to captain a certain team. I am to captain Gujarat Titans, and that is a completely different thing from being a player. So there's a whole lot more responsibility, and that is a different challenge, and that is something that I enjoy doing. So I think it's just maneuvering between your own performance and getting the best from everyone is something that is challenging and exciting at the same time.
And the technical shift will be?
The technical shift are the things that you need some touching upon on certain aspects, because you haven't, for example, when you're playing test and ODI, there are certain things that are not required, which are required in T20. Most of the base of test, one day, T20 is more or less the same. There are some things that you need touching upon. For example, if you go from T20 to test, the balls that you're hitting, you would need to let those balls go. You have to leave those balls. But letting that ball go is nothing technical, it's all mental. Because you're watching the ball and you're not playing the same ball that you're used to playing. So it's more mental than it is technical. So you have to control yourself, and controlling is more mental. Same way, when you're going from one day to T20, you have to hit certain balls which you sometimes might not hit in a one day match. So that is also, I feel, for me, it's more mental than technical. And the technical part comes into play for me as a batsman, because when we are playing one day and test, we don't try to hit a six off every ball. But sometimes in a T20 match, there is a situation where we have to hit 15-20 runs in an over. So that sometimes needs some touching upon, on some fine tuning in that.
You're also in a place right now where you have access to some amazing mentors. Makes me wonder, whose advice do you find yourself leaning on, and what is the kind of help that you find yourself seeking?
I mean, like you said, fortunately I have access to a lot of people in my life that I can lean on. In our team, if you have someone like Rohit Bhai, Virat Bhai, or even Gauti Bhai, these are some of the best people that you can lean on. And in the IPL, we have Ashupa, Vikram Baji, Gary was there. So these are the people that I lean on when we are playing the IPL. And UV Paji is someone that I've always been in constant touch with for the past 5 years. And he never shies away from giving his input or his opinion on if there's something that I'm lacking, or if there's something that I can do more, or if there's something that he wants me to avoid. So I think these are the people that I always lean on.
Also there are just probably a couple of players, maybe a Virat or a Dhoni, who have stayed with one team for most part of their IPL. Do you see Gujarat as a long-term commitment for you?
I mean, when you start playing for a team as a player, you would want to play for them forever. So definitely.
Yeah. But also, with being a world-class athlete today, the expectations and pressures go so much beyond just excelling at the sport. The truth is, there are constant chants every time you get onto the field. There's so much scrutiny on your dating life, your personal life. Do you want to set the record straight firstly? How do you manage to just block out all the noise?
Honestly, when I'm going out there to bat, it's like I've told this many times, but I don't know, it's like an automatic switch. I don't think any batsman can hear those chants. It's like, it's hard for me to explain, but when you're in the zone, you can't hear people chanting or anything. You are so focused on the job that is there for you to finish. You are so focused on, okay, this bowler is bowling at me. This is how much we need to score, or these are the things that I need to do. You're so focused on, okay, which gaps do I need to hit? Or if he bowls there, where do I need to hit this next shot, or this next phase? How do I need to play? You are so focused on these things. So you don't really hear the chants, but when you are fielding, then you have a lot more, then you can hear them, especially when you're fielding on the boundary, or when you're closer to them basically while fielding, that's when you can hear them. And I think, I have been single for over 3 years, and there have been so many speculations and rumors, linking me with different people. And sometimes it's so ridiculous that I would have never even seen that person or met that person ever in my life. And I would be hearing rumors that, oh, I am with this person and this person, where else I'd be like right now I'm so focused on what I need to do in my professional career. There is like no space in my life to be able to be with someone. Like 300 days in a year, we are on the road traveling somewhere. So there is hardly any time to be able to be with someone or invest, the time to be with someone in a relationship.
Okay. Well, we all know about the red hanky superstition, but I'm curious to know, with fame and stardom, does that success liberate you, or does it make you a bit fearful of losing it all because now you know what it tastes like?
Honestly, I've not really, these are not the things that instantly comes to my mind. Like, I'm not fearful. Like, success for me has a little different meaning. It's for me, success is if I'm able to do the same amount of hard work, and if I can put the same amount of effort in something, irrespective of what result I get in that for me, that means that I'm successful. What I mean by that is, how hard I was working when I was 16, 17 before achieving all of what I have today, if I'm able to do the same amount of hard work, and if I'm able to maintain the same work ethic right now, for me, irrespective of even if I do well or not do well, in my eyes, I'd be successful. And this is, for me, this defines success. And if I can do this constantly for the next 10, 15 years, till however long I'm going to play cricket for, in my eyes, I'd be successful.
So every once in a while now, you will find yourself looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I'm successful?
Not really, but there are some days where I do question myself, am I thinking about the game, or am I putting in as much effort as I was before I got all of this? Most of the time, I'd say 99% of the times the answer is yes. Sometimes, there was a period in my life when sometimes the answer wasn't yes. There was, okay, maybe I can do a little bit more in this aspect of my life, because there are some days when you don't really feel like doing anything, but I think those are the days that are really important for you to get up and do that thing, because that really builds character. And especially on days when I'm feeling like low and not feeling like doing anything, I would purposely make an effort on that day to be able to especially do it on that day.
I want to know what Shubman Gill tells Shubman Gill when he looks into the mirror. And I'm not talking about when you're prepping for a big game. It could be that. It could be just a regular day in your life. But I see so much focus in your eyes. So I just want to understand what your self-talk is. What is it that you're telling yourself? What is it that you rely on in order to just get you through a big game, stardom, failure, a regular day? What are you telling yourself?
Just keep moving forward. Just keep looking at be present, and just think about your next step. That's it.
And is it anything particularly different right before a big game?
Not,
what's the mental prep like then?
Not really. It's very similar to what I just told you. It's just about what team we are playing, and what are the things that I need to do to be able to succeed against them.
On the face of it, of course, the life looks so charmed, like everything about it feels perfect in the moment. What is the most exhausting part about being a star player?
Sometimes I feel you don't really get time for yourself, but then also, like, you made this decision, and because I'm so lucky that I love this game so much. You don't really think about it, but then sometimes when you are on an away tour and it's not going that great, it's hard like that. Sometimes then those kind of tours seem to be like very long, like when is it gonna finish. And when you are playing a match, it's completely fine, but sometimes those off days seem to be like very long, and those are the times when you feel the most exhausted actually.
Yeah. It's also just sport, and what a great shaper of character it is, especially how it teaches you to deal with failure. I want to talk a little bit about how you process the days that you just talked about when things are not necessarily going your way.
I mean, if nothing is going my way how I want it to be, I feel so happy and so content if I just have 3-4 hours of practice and do what I've been doing since I was 3-4 years old. If I do that, I feel so much at peace. But sometimes on away tours, because the practice depends, like the other board gives you the days when you can practice. And when like there is nothing to do, and you are in a city, you are in a small city, there aren't that many good places to eat, and there have been times when my best friends were not with me. So those are the days where you feel like exhausted and you feel a little low and lonely.
Well, this conversation has just brought me back to the fact that as long as you have those few best friends around you and perhaps some good food to eat, you're generally living your best life.
Yeah, I sometimes get very, I mean, my friends can tell you more about it, but I get hangry.
I think it was 2022 on New Year's Eve when you posted on your Instagram about your manifestations. You talked about how you wanted to make the most runs for India, be less hard on yourself, make your family happy. We're now in 2025. I just want to do a check on where you stand with those manifestations.
So it was actually in 2023 when I wrote it in. I remember we were in Bangladesh.
Okay.
Our test series had just finished, and we were coming back on maybe 30th or something, and that's when I think on the plane when I wrote my manifestation or my this year goals or something like that. There was making most hundreds for India, most runs, the orange cap, because I had not won an orange cap before that. The World Cup was there, and I think except for the World Cup, all the things that I wished for came true, and we became so close to win the World Cup. And I mean, all the tangible things were true, but like something like, oh, be less hard on yourself, or these are the things that don't really have a measure, like. And when you are like in the moment, because I know that I'm an ambitious person and I want to do well in whatever I do, and I sometimes can't control myself to not be that hard on myself, because when you are, it's easy to it's something that you can reflect upon, but when you are in that moment, it's hard not to be hard on yourself.
And 2025, what are your manifestations today?
Hopefully end of this year, maybe I'll again post something on social media and you'll get to know.
We will wait and watch. Thank you for agreeing to do this interview. It was really, really nice to just get a peek into what makes you tick.
Thank you so much
for being our cover star. Thank you.
My pleasure. Hi guys, this is Shubman Gill and you're watching me on the Hollywood Reporter India, and go subscribe.